Nyaneza Iradukunda, a student at Safe New Hampshire University. I'm going to present project called World Health Worries undergo called Foster Community Health.
Uh, Thank you. My name is Shanswa Maharo. Welcome in this interview where I'm going to ask you different questions if you are ready.
Okay, I'm ready to answer your questions.
Thank you. The first question is that global health seems to be in the news more and more in recent years. Talk about what global health is and why it is important to pay attention to it.
Okay, thank you so much. Starting on global health. Global health is an area for study, research, and practices that place a priority on improving health and achieving equity in health for all people worldwide. Moving to the importance of it, global health promotes health abroad. Also, it prevents the international spread of disease. Also, it protects the health of U.S. population. In addition, many global health issues can directly or indirectly impact the health of United States. Outbreak of infectious diseases, illness, or contaminated pharmaceutical and other products can not only spread from country to country, but also impact trade and trade. The United States can also learn the way other countries use to prevent some diseases. In addition, globally, the rate of death from non-communicable causes, such as heart diseases, stroke, or injury, is growing. Also, the number of deaths from infectious diseases such as malaria, tuberculosis, even vaccine preventable diseases is decreasing. Global health helps some people who are affected by those diseases to know how they can be cured. Also, it helps others who are not affected to know how they can prevent those diseases. Also, other importance is global health. There are some regulations which designed to prevent the informational spread of diseases while minimizing interruption of world travel and trade. They encourage countries to work together to share about known diseases. For example, there are some diseases which are Ebola, malaria. Also putting some national resources into global health protect us by improving our security and our own health. The US or any other country cannot protect its borders and the health of their citizens without addressing diseases elsewhere in the world. Therefore, global health is important to know it because it helps all countries to know how they can prevent a given diseases.
Okay, thank you. The second question is that diseases can come to us in different ways. Explain the difference between communicable and non-communicable diseases.
Okay, thank you so much. Communicable diseases are the infectious diseases transmissible from one person to another. Or are the disease which spread from one person to another through variety of ways that include contact with blood or bodily fluid, or breathing in airborne virus, or being bitten by an insect. For example, of those communicable diseases, there are Ebola, flu, hepatitis A, even B, HIV/AIDS, Zika, even tuberculosis. Why non-communicable diseases are the diseases that are not transmissible directly from one person to another. For example, diabetes, cancer, heart diseases, chronic lung diseases, even stroke.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about Ebola. Since I'm sure most of our viewers have heard a lot about that. What is it? Is it communicable or non-communicable? How do people get it? What is Ebola? Is it communicable or non-communicable? How do people get it?
Okay, thank you so much. Starting on the meaning of Ebola, Ebola is diseases caused by virus. There are 5 strains and 4 of them can cause people to be sick. In the time they entering into the body, it kills cells, making some of them explode. After it causes heavy bleeding inside the body and damage even organ. Also, it causes fever, body acros, even diarrhea, and sometimes bleeding inside and outside the body. To add on, Ebola is communicable diseases. This is because it transmitted from one person to another. Moving to the way people get it, it is spread to people by contact with skin or bodily fluid of an infected animal like monkey, fruit, bat, and then it moves from person to person the same way. Also, people who care for a sick person or by someone who has died from Ebola, he or she become affected by it.
Okay, thank you. What would lies a person's risk of getting Ebola?
Okay, thank you so much. The risk of being affected with Ebola is very low for most people. People are at risk only if they have traveled to an area where outbreak is ongoing, or also had contact with person who affected with Ebola virus, or cared for someone who affected by it.
So, to prevent or at least lessen to the chance of getting Ebola, what should people do?
The best way to avoid Ebola is to stay away from area where the virus is common. In the time we found that it is necessary to travel on that area that area where Ebola virus is present, there are some strategy you can use to avoid it. For example, avoid contact with blood and body fluids. Also avoid funeral or burial ritual that require handling the body of someone who died from Ebola virus disease. Also avoid contact with semen from a man who had Ebola virus disease. Also avoid contracting with blood or blood fluid, even the meat prepared from this animal. The meat without knowing where they comes from, it is not good to eat them. In addition, it is better to avoid traveling on those areas where Ebola present. To add on that, wash your hands frequently, because this is the one most important preventable measure in order to avoid that diseases. Also follow infectious control procedure. If you are a healthcare workers or healthcare provider, it is better to wear protective clothing like gloves, mask, clothing, even air shield. Also keep infected people isolated from other in order to avoid that diseases.
Okay, thank you. The outbreak, such as the one related to Ebola, can generate a lot of rumors and misinformation and even panic about what the disease is. How is it transmitted and how likely people are to get it? Talk about the need for the educating people about fact versus myth.
Oh, thank you so much. People have myths that say that people can get vaccinated against Ebola. Fact about that, there are currently no recent Ebola vaccine. This myth is dangerous during outbreak. This is because some people can spend their money while paying for vaccine which is not confirmed. Sometimes person can come and think that I have a vaccine of Ebola. That time many people can go and find the amount of money in order to be vaccinated. Therefore, it is better for everyone to educate more about Ebola in order to know the real truth. In the time they understood some rumors about it, they can do the research by asking the healthcare providers in order to find the real information about that. To add on, also people have myths say that Ebola virus is airborne. Fact about that, the virus is spread through bodily fluid. It is not airborne. This myth is dangerous during outbreak. This is because many people can leave their jobs while think that they can get Ebola. As a result, they can be poor. Therefore, people need to research in the time they understood the rumors about Ebola. They need to ask different health advisors in order to know if what they understood are true before accepting them.
Okay, thank you. How about the complication that Ebola raises for the light of the travels and the responsibility of the government? Kakichu Cox, for example, a nurse from Maine who returned to the States following a trip to a Western Africa in the fall of 2014, promptly had quarantine-related restriction thrust upon her, restriction that she was very much against. Briefly describe the difficulty of balancing individual rights and governmental responsibilities.
Thank you so much. It is difficult to balance individual right and governmental responsibility because sometimes can be a limit of someone's life. To prevent Ebola, rights for the traveler and the responsibility of government, there should be rule and direction to follow. For example, government should stop the movement of people to the area which has Ebola. Again, there should be a training to behave and they are taking vaccine before going to that area.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about smoking and tobacco use, which is considered a big world health problem and raise the similarity issues to the Ebola in terms of rights and responsibilities. Just about everyone knows that smoking harms health. What does it do to the body?
Okay, smoking harms nearly every organ of the body because it causes many diseases and reduces the health of smoker in general. This is because it causes stroke and coronary heart diseases, which are among the leading causes of death. Also, smoking can cause cancer almost anywhere in our body. For example, it can cause cancer in blood, even liver. To add on, smoking can make it harder for a woman to become pregnant. It can also affect her baby's health before and after birth. For example, baby to have low birth weight.
Okay, thank you. What about second-hand smoke? Explain what that is and how it affects people.
Okay, second-hand smoke is a mixture of the smoke that comes from the burning end of cigarette or pipe and the smoke breathed out by the smoker. The way second-hand smoke affects people: first, lung cancer in people who have never smoked. Also, more likely that someone will get heart diseases and have heart attack, even die early. Also, breathing problem like coughing, sneezing, even second-hand smoke cause the kids who already have asthma to have more frequently and get severe attack.
Okay, thank you. People do not typically think of the tobacco as a drug like heroin or cocaine, but the addictions it creates is strong, isn't it? Should we think of tobacco use as a form of substance abuse?
Okay, yes, of course, tobacco use as a form of substance abuse. This is because tobacco products contain the addictive drug nicotine as well as many other toxic chemicals. The use of tobacco can lead to addiction and premature death. Also, it harms our body as other substance abuse. For example, it affects the one who use it to be affected by cancer, heart diseases, even stroke. Also, it becomes harder for the woman while giving birth. Therefore, tobacco use as other form of other substance abuse. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.